Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and the Portugal Club, of course, where we had some very interesting members join us yesterday. We've got a Portuguese police officer moving among us at the Portugal Club. Don't let that put you off. You can see the scrolling comment at the bottom of the screen this morning, perhaps, and a QR code, if I pop that onto the screen. There you go. There's a QR code for whizzing through to the Portugal Club, where we'll go, of course, this morning for the Portuguese citizenship test. Number 43. How'd you get on yesterday? I believe the right answer was Angola yesterday, which had me researching Angola a little bit. Quite extraordinary. The colonial past of Angola. Watched a couple of videos yesterday, prompted by my own quiz. The banner at the bottom of the screen, any questions, comments for Antonio? That was for Antonio Barbosa, who was my guest last night. On the Portugal Club Beyond the Algorithm slot, taking a look at Portugal, populism and progress. What of a special interest to me was the Portuguese values that we love so much that attracted us here and how they may be preserved, conservatism for the future. And it's a very interesting situation that the young people of Portugal find themselves in. Here's a little bit of context. Population growth. We were talking Jeremy put he said 1.8 trillion people on the planet. Not yet, Jeremy. Looking forward to having Jeremy with his East meets West perspectives. Maybe he should have brought his abacus yesterday on the show on a regular basis. I really enjoyed my chat with Jeremy about Qigong yesterday and looking forward to having him as a regular with the East meets West perspective. But talking of which, and talking of population, look at this. This is the context in which Portugal must position its future. And Europe with its minus 1.2. I've alerted the fly who kept me company last night during the webinar or the conversation with Antonio. The fly is back. See what I can do. And it will be landing on my forehead, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, population has dropped. Population growth in 2024 by continent. In Europe, it dropped. Look at this. We have an interesting geopolitical demographic future ahead of us, do we not? Us Europeans. A little bit of a growth in Australia, 0.6 million. By far and away, the largest growth in Asia and Africa. Africa at 35 million. And Asia at 28.6 million. North America, a mere 5 million, and South America, 2.6 million there. So that's the context. It looks to me like the Portuguese people, Europeans, might be fighting each other politically on the deck of the Titanic with such things as this. Don't worry, Andre, we fixed this. This isn't Bangladesh. This is a poster that's been going around and understandably upsetting people and causing discussion and debate. But really, I think there are bigger fish to fry, a bigger bacalhau to cook, perhaps. We fixed the poster, by the way, made it say this is not somewhere else, so that it can apply to anyone from anywhere challenging the Portuguese way of life in a negative way. Isto não está o mais lado nenhum. There you go. I think that helps. Probably not. We shall see. Here's a cheerful face. Shall we have Mick? Shall we have Bob? Shall we have Marcelo, who's a busy boy at the moment? Sorry, that's rather disrespectful, isn't it? Is a busy gentleman, leader of the country, grandfather of the country. Still to put the rubber stamp on the citizenship changes. It looks like the Parliament have no problem with changing the years you have to wait from 5 to 10, 7 from the CPLP countries, the former colonies, and no word actually of Brexit people, or well, not Brexit people. That's a silly way to refer to us Brits, isn't it? But post-Brexit status, will we be lumped in with the CPLP people? I've not seen any talk of that, and that's of course something we can chat with Tig about next time we see her. I might have to ask her before we go ahead and do that. But certainly over on X, I might do a little bit of coverage on that. However, I know I've set a number of hairs coursing already this morning with different possible threads, but I think taking a quick look at that, even though the general trend this morning is to be looking for the good and praising it. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for your video, Andero, yesterday morning. Thank you for your picture, Coach Turner. Any more, because these are the sad times, and I mean seasonal affective disorder. And talking to Jeremy, we got a sense, didn't we? The Chinese medicine people understand that at this time of year when it gets a bit darker, for man-made reasons, as well as the seasons, the days, daylight hours getting shorter anyway. Cooler, colder. This is the end of the long summer and the move towards comfortably, not or maybe uncomfortably settling in for the oncoming winter. And he mentioned Day of the Dead, didn't he? We get reflective. The veil is thin at this time of year, and it can cause us to be a little bit sad. And that's okay if we know that's what's happening. But when we don't know that's happening and we're fighting, you're like, oh my God, what's happening to me? When we don't have that consciousness about it. Oh, and yes, here's another hair to be set coursing. Today's the day where our consciousness might be changed, transformed anyway, with those three major phenomena happening to humanity. A large object in the sky, the solar flare or the standing vibration. That stuff the guy was talking about and claiming it was math, that's meant to be happening today as well. So any minute now, actually, the 30th of October, we could transcend, evolve, rise in consciousness. So watch out for that this morning. And as you go about your daily business and as you're in Lidl, and instead of being, estimados clientes, vamos abrir a caixa dois, they might not only be opening a new cashier, they might be opening a portal to a new dimension. Just thought I'd mention it. Take the app with you. Antonio. Yes, that's where I began that little spiral in a Ronnie Corbett-esque style. Oh, my producer, lovely man. And I really do need to dispatch this fly. Very annoying and very un-giant of me to want to kill a living creature. But he is threatening to land on my forehead whilst I'm trying to present in a dignified and stately manner to you. So there we go. The artist Terence Austin on the screen to bring a bit of levity and light and to keep finding the good and praising it. Do share with me on 913-590-303 what it is you love about life and Portugal. I think we need that. Well, I need it at the moment. Oh, Sarah sent me a very good image or a meme because it was brought to her attention that in Switzerland, somebody failed the citizenship test for not knowing enough about Swiss cheese. I don't know what's planned in Portugal. I'm doing my best to help, as you know, every morning with our own Portuguese citizenship test question. But in Switzerland, I will preface this morning's Portuguese citizenship test question with what happened over there in Zurich to somebody who didn't make the cut to become a citizen over there. So pretty serious, actually, not to be toyed with. The Swiss and their culture, and especially their cheese, it would appear. Yes, upcoming, the wonderful Amelie over in Caldas has a great webinar coming up. She's the one, of course, who led, after the inspiration of Joy Goldman in Setúbal, who we've spoken to, about the aging and dying movement. Exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about when I'm asking you to look for the good and praise it. But you know what are we humans if not a bag of contradictions and ironies? But an interesting event coming up in Caldas de Rainha where Amelie has continued the good work inspired by Joy Goldman, and an upcoming webinar. That's going to be good. Vamos bem is the advice there, and the name of the website. Is it? I think it is. I think that's the name of their wonderful website with all sorts of resources in this kind of department. And of course, I want to mention to you the Good Times Gathering this weekend. I haven't promoted this enough. Typically, I have all these ideas, but often a lack of focus and concerted effort undermines some of them. I want to invite you to this weekend's wine tasting and karaoke, the first event of its kind, and maybe talk about a Christmas party we might be having as well. 13th of December in San Martino de Porto is a possibility for a Christmas get-together. What do you think about that? We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But I'm trying to recap now, and I notice we have a lot of comments in the chat, so I'll come back to those ASAP. We're just trying to knit together the loose ends from last night. So they're not referring directly to Antonio Barbosa as a loose end, although maybe see you later on today, Antonio. Great effort last night, and talking about the changes you've seen with politics in Portugal in your 25 years here, and the mis-selling of centrist politics, and how that was a little bit of an upset for people. And I can't remember the name of the Guerrencia. Was that what it was called, Pete? Where people were promised the PSD government, but ended up with a left-wing coalition, which took them quite a long way from their ideas of democracy and what they thought they were choosing. And then thereafter became more and more disappointed. But a lot of interesting chat about Portuguese values, young people, how they might preserve and promote those values. But my point, which I weighed in with in no uncertain terms, is Portuguese people need to grow their families if they want to continue this way of life that we were attracted to. They've got to have kids. There's no other way. And perhaps not only accuse other races of not being in line with the values, but speak of the values, encourage other people to share the values and talk about them more, rather than having this fight constantly on the bridge of the Titanic. Anyway, I think I've made myself clear on where I stand on this. And yes, open to your ideas for other topics of discussion. We started with Shaga and should foreigners fear Shaga. We went into understanding Islam. Tony had a moment when I played the opening credits, as it were, the intro sequence last night. It still had the understanding Islam thumbnail there. And Tony's like, how do I help people to understand Islam? I thought I was here to talk about populism. And he did. We left the discussion around Islam to Dr. Aleem, and you can see that on the channel, on our YouTube channel. And also, and thank you for the spike, actually. Great numbers on the YouTube channel. It's a lot to do with the shorts. So apologies on the one hand if you're being inundated by Good Morning Portugal shorts. All optional, of course. Don't feel obliged to watch everything. But a massive spike in viewing. We're getting... I don't know, 3,000 views a day on our channel. Watch time's up. Subscribers are up slowly but surely. So thank you, everybody, for joining us over there on YouTube. And great job last night, then, finally, Antonio, on looking at populism being the symptom and not the disease, and what went on in the country before this flashpoint, the lightning rod politics, the what's it called, dog whistle politics, and what led up to that. So we managed to have an open-hearted, open-minded conversation about that with too much controversy, trolling, or difficulty. You trolls, try harder next time. Okay, so that's over there on the YouTube channel. We'll come to the Portuguese citizenship test in just a moment. And I do welcome your looking for the good and praising it, memes, moments, snapshots from your life video here in Portugal. Looking for the good and praising it, 913-590-303. Handcuffs and truncheons. What are you talking about, Peter? Left alone in the chat for 2 minutes, and look what happens. Comments, StreamYard. Thank you, StreamYard. Comments are very important to this show. StreamYard have been messing about in the background, and we've covered up Terence Austin's face now with the comments on the screen, whereby I trust you entirely not to put puerile and idiotic things on the screen. Doesn't always go according to plan, depending on who's joining us. And Nubianet, though, dropped a comment on the YouTube channel saying, so much lovely chat, missing joining you in the morning. So shout out to you, Nubianet, if you're seeing this another time of day. And yes, it really is important, the comments that you send in and the interaction. So let me make it wider and bigger, which I can do now. You'll be able to see that, maybe even without the help of your spectacles. Nurse, I said remove his spectacles. So there you go. Those are the comments on the screen now. And I think we're being a bit rude. I think I'm being a bit rude to Chinese Terry there. So let me just remove him for the time being. And we look forward to welcoming him on the screen at some point in the future. His son is doing a great job with me on a Monday evening with the Find Your Home in Property show. It's really Find Your Home in Portugal show. Find Your Home in Property. as well. We all need somewhere to live. Right. Gemini was in early, the first this morning. Before, oh, yeah, it must have been just after I posted the show. A little bit late on that this morning. Good morning, everyone. Matti, bom dia, alegria a todos e feliz quinta-feira, domingo quinta. And talking of Portuguese, or talking in Portuguese as you are there, I'd like to have a look at a few of the Portuguese sayings of the day as well. We've neglected those, or I have in recent times. And Antonio is still going strong. Hundreds of them. Building up there, a veritable reservoir, a bursting dam of Portuguese aphorisms and idioms. Bon dia, Gumpers from Coach Turner. E feliz quinta off up to that London today. You smoke today with the granddaughters. Oh, this will be fun to see the Egypt exhibition at Young V&A. Oh, is that the latest branding at the V&A? My favourite museum. I would take time off school. I would take unauthorized absence at school and go and wander around the V&A. I love that museum. And so that's the thing now, is it? The Young V&A. That's interesting, isn't it? Because it is full of old, dusty things. And I'm not just talking about the visitors, all the demographic of people who are interested. Of course, it's a museum. It's full of old artifacts. And what a brilliant bit of positioning. Young V&A, what used to be the Children's Museum. Quite looking forward to it. So they've given that a bit of a zhoosh, have they? A bit of a renovation. That sounds good. Have a lovely time up there. Pictures, please. Bon dia from Mel as well. How you doing? Simply Live, Mel. Bon dia, Gumbers. Copper in the gang. He might come in handy. I do have a thing for uniformed police. I imagine that may not be his only function. Would pleasing you in his uniform. I'll ask him. Oh, you can ask him yourself. You're a member over there. Are you going for the full Uncle Albert look, Carl? No, I'm going for the Prince Albert look. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's not be spreading that rumor. Quite a way to go, but the bum fluff is coming along. Yes, welcome to the beard cam. This morning it is coming on nicely. I trust this isn't aimed at me. Handcuffs or the truncheon or both. Mind your own business, Peter. Solar Life, you and T-Duck could be Rodney and Delboy. Pete, handcuffs. Look, Jackie's getting quite hot under the collar, and she will have that hot collar felt possibly by the gentleman we're referring to. I will. I'll treat you to the new members, as it were. Well, I'll tell you who they are. I can't actually bring them onto the screen unless they want to do that. But there are a few people trickling in, a nice steady stream. Who doesn't like first thing in the morning? That chart isn't fair. If you allow sheep-human hybrids, as you have done with Australia, Wales would... No, clearly they haven't done that, Peter. Per population, Australia is likely the highest. It's interesting, isn't it, to see these figures and to see how impressive and eye-catching graphs, maps, and memes can be. And then as soon as you analyze it in any way, they fall over, don't they? It would appear. But a good starting point for a discussion and to bring attention to the future of Europe. I mean, is anyone talking about it? To me, I think we are going to be a massive Victoria and Albert Museum, basically, aren't we? Europe is a historical place now. It is the museum of the world. It's a beautiful place where a culture is available to be marveled upon and understood and learnt about. And other parts of the world will perhaps be the new empires and cutting edge of human evolution. And we'll just have to, I don't know about reinvent us, but understand our place as Europeans in the new world order. That's a chilling phrase that is. But we need to embrace what we are, I think, rather than having ideas of... I mean, that's a problem, isn't it, with empires that are arguably waning to give way to something new. They don't take the news, the memo doesn't sink in that well. Does it? There's a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth at the end of an empire. And then there must be other people like us, perhaps, thinking, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. We've had our time. And we need to embrace a different way of being and contributing to the world now. Freedom, good morning to you. This is fantastic. Our numbers on the live stream are steadily growing as well. Don't mess it up, Carl. I think Shagazad should have said, Portugal is not Spain. Yeah, well, that's a given. That's a given. We don't need to say that, Jackie. I mean, we should know that. That's the first article of Portuguese faith value, is it not? This definitely isn't Spain, and we get quite cross if anybody thinks that or says that. Portugal, Solo Life Portugal, you have confused us with New Zealanders. That is their reputation. Mel smartly, quickly distancing herself from the sheep-fancying tendencies of the Antipodean neighbours there. So naughty, Peter. He's only been here a few minutes. He's causing all manner of trouble. I do hope you have reprimanded some commuters for being noisome this morning. Do you actually have you got to that curmudgeonly state, Capricorn 12, Chris? Hola, bon dia. Nose nuzzled into the armpit of a fellow commuter as we speak. Do you sit there and either openly or internally shake your head, thinking of better times on the trains of London when gentlemen, I mean, have you got your pinstripe suit on, your umbrella, your brolly, a copy of the Financial Times folded up, actually pressed by your good lady wife as she bade you farewell, darling, in the morning as you walked from your suburban home in the home counties to the station. You had your place on the platform. You had your bowler hat, which you had gently tipped to other gentlemen. There were no women on the platform. It's just men in bowler hats making their way to London to do their work. And there may be a woman at the office, in the typing pool or something like that, or the tea lady. But are those the days, Chris, that you sit there quietly thinking, oh, if only now we're surrounded by barbarians on the train, smelly barbarians, not a bowler hat to their names. Or is it something? Is it somewhere in the middle? Am I being a bit hyperbolic, polar, and divisive? So easy to slip into, isn't it? The Monty Alegria Compass from T-Duck as well. Not so many sheep in Wales these days, Pete. What happened? The new to the reservation lot been eating them with Jackie. The beard continues. It does. The hairs get stuck in your teeth. Is that you talk about sheep, truncheons, furry handcuffs? I don't know what's going on now. I don't eat sheep myself, says Jackie, but I do love a good fleecing. Fleece. Can you hear a yowling cat? With 4 cats, there's a very good chance that one of them is making a noise or causing trouble. Carl, be careful. If Louisa offers you an all-expenses one-way trip to Switzerland... Yeah, I'll watch out for that. Do we have to go for citizenship, or can we continue on residence once? No, you can become a permanent resident here in Portugal, and some people are choosing that, or imagining that to be a better option rather than waiting 27 years for citizenship. That was a joke. However, it could easily be. I miss what people are saying. If it's 10 years. And it's proposed to begin the final rubber stamp. I don't think has happened from the president yet. And this is a problem with how Portuguese politics are formed. He still may have his way with it, as it were, and I will take you to the Constitutional Court and have my way with you. He might say to that particular legislation. But the way things stand, and they want to do it from the issue, the time that qualifies for citizenship is from the time you... have your first residency card. So if that's taken a long time, and then the process itself takes a long time, you might be talking about 12, 13, 14 years, the way some things are going. And some golden visa citizenship people are just saying, that's enough, I've had enough of this. And they're clearing off, which we will see if we ever get to that thread on X there, which is being convened admirably by a chap called Alessandro Palombo, who's doing his best to offer a fair account of what's going on over there. If you can't wait for that, and you would like to see for yourself, he's laid it out graphically. New law, not yet promulgated in brackets. That's the big rubber stamp of the president, probably literally, actually. And I will send you a link now for the table. He's done this in a really good way, in the way that is done by Portugal Decoded or Portugal Weekly, those Substacks that try and bring a little bit of clarity to the situation. I think Alessandro is cut of that jib as well. Doing great, says T-Duck. Had a nice warm afternoon yesterday. No rain forecast today, and the weekend is in sight. What more could a duck want? How's things in your world, Jackie? Love it seeing the Gumpers chatting with Gumpers. Jackie, unless you have already got your citizenship application in, smiles smugly, it will take you 10 years. Hold on, Peter. Pride can come before a fall. Let's see there's no grandfathering. Jackie, you can stay on residency, but you have to keep renewing and meeting possibly changing criteria. Yes, you can look at this great advice this morning. You can stay on temporary residency indefinitely, apply for permanent residency after 5 years, or go for the citizenship in the 2030s. Morning, Matty. Didn't see you lurking in the corner. He takes a joke well, doesn't he, Matty? He has to, doesn't he, with you, Peter? Permanent residency also requires the A2 certificate. And we haven't done enough on that recently. Although, as you know, I hope you know by now, if you support us at the Portugal Club, you get access to Vitor and Maria's fantastic course, which is a wonderful start to actually speaking. A2 certificate doesn't necessarily mean you'll speak any Portuguese ever. The course that Vitor and Maria run will have you speaking. They're getting great testimonials there, and that will have you actually speaking Portuguese, which, forgive me, but I think that is the idea of learning a language, is it not? Not just to get a citizenship, but to actually communicate with the other people in the country, the natives who have made you welcome. Thank you. I think I'll be happy with residency, to be honest, as long as I can, as I've got something to say, I can stay. I'm a happy bunny. Yeah, a lot of people are finding that a happy default. The only concern for people is how more things might change, right? That could be a problem. I need to have a little sip of my tea now. No guest speaking with me on screen. Lovely that you're keeping me company in the chat. And are you improving the new improved and bigger chat? It went from regular and small to wide and big. What a fabulous transition. Thank you, StreamYard, for that. And don't forget the Portugal Club QR code, top left-hand corner of the screen. Let's go to the Portugal Club now. I'm tempted to use the QR code myself. However, it will be a lot easier. I'll come back to your comments. Thank you so much for those. Nivianette's right. So much lovely chat here on the Good Morning Portugal show. And still looking for the good and praising it in these somewhat lungy and grievous times as we make our way from summer into winter. If it's affecting you, you may have a tonic in the form of lovely pictures and celebrations of Portuguese life from the Gumpers here. 913-590-303. And I must lead from the front with this, and I'm just looking through my Google pictures here, and I've got pictures of chop saws, memes that I'm grabbing to share with you, the rain on the San Martino de Porto Marginal, loads of bottles of wine. Ooh, they're cool. That brings me a lot of joy. I might show you some of these pictures of wine bottles. Actually, they're very jolly. I do love being in. The ones I'll show you actually were captured, I think, in Ilha Claire, the famous Portuguese brand. But their display lighting for their wines are fantastic. So I might show you a few of their jolly wine labels. We do have the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, of course, on Monday. That will be Monday the 3rd. Monday the 3rd of October. Come along. And today, on Monday the 3rd. Not today, then we will be bringing along a bottle of wine. The mission, which they've chosen to accept, the Wine Club Ninjas, is to bring a bottle of wine with a story attached to it. So there'll be anecdotal and alcoholic as well on Monday the 3rd. Peter, memo to you there. Come along with a bottle of wine with a story attached to it. So see you there, perhaps, if you're a wine fan. But yeah, I was heading over to the Portugal Club, was I not? And to Portuguese citizenship test question of the day. So there will be an exam, it would appear. So we're ahead of that game here, doing our best to help you learn more about Portuguese language and culture here on the Good Morning Portugal show. And there it is. You should see the question, a fairly easy one this morning. Well, if you know, you know, right? YK, if you know, you know. And I'm just putting the finishing touches to the question here. Let's open up the polling technology, shall we? Very exciting. Drum roll. Is the name of the traditional bread soup from the Alentejo called the assorda. And assordas do vary, I think, as is typical with a Portuguese recipe. And I have a thread for those as well, into which I put the Portuguese stew and cornmeal porridge. I hadn't heard of that until I found and posted this recipe. We might have a look at that as well this morning. But assorda, I think, may well come from the Alentejo, to give you a massive clue and even the answer to this test question this morning. But it is interpreted around the rest of the country, is it not? Portuguese people do like to pick up and run with recipes and give them a regional, local twist. So let me ask you that one more time then, as I post it to you at the Portugal Club. What is the name of the traditional bread soup from the Alentejo region called? Is it a sorda A? Is it B, sopa de tomate? Now that's do you remember the horse soup, which has got wine in it as well? It's got bread and wine in it, which was seen as a great start to the day in Alentejo for people who needed to get some caffeine and alcohol and some carbohydrates into them first thing in the morning. I think the hungry horse soup is probably a variation of the sopa de tomate and caldeirada. I think that's been a previous question answer here, but that's Portuguese citizenship test question number 43. What is a traditional bread soup from the Alentejo region called? And soup, I would question that. And it's borderline soup stew. Is it a sorda? Is it sopa de tomate? Or is it caldeirada? I will put the link to that into the chat. Now, Virginia hasn't had a chance to answer that yet because, she's what? She's already on it, I think. That's amazing. Is that Virginia? Yes, it is. Wow, Virginia, waiting there to answer the Portuguese. I love that. Thank you so much. And there is the link for everybody else if they want to disagree or add something even in the chat with these as well. So we'll go back over to the Portugal Club in a little while. Let's have a look at a few more of your comments. Maybe have a look at the Portuguese citizenship chat hosted by Alessandro. Just take the headlines from that. And also, something else that caught my attention, as well as things that make you feel good about being in Portugal on 913590303. Where do the Portuguese look for news? Apparently, in contrast to the European reality, the Portuguese continue to mention television as a more reliable source of information. Really? Even among younger people. The telly is an important part of Portuguese culture, of course. Maybe we'll have a deeper dig into that news article from the Portugal News. The Resident is out today with my column in it. If you would like to inspect my column, you can do so in print and digitally, and it should go up online in a little while. It's talking about plot twists. It's a building joke, everybody. Plot twist. John Wood's story moving here. He's our resident construction expert now, but I've showcased him in the Portugal Resident today. Grab a copy. Out now. You can stay on residency. Okay, so possibly changing criteria. Where did we get to? We saw Pete's ribbing Matty again. I'm not interested in citizenship, but hope to get permanent residency at our next renewal. And it's more than a bit of paper that makes you belong in Portugal. It's so true. It's being part of the country and culture that counts. So we expect to see you noshing on bacalhau and in church every Sunday. Jackie, and this is a funny thing, isn't it? I wonder how many people who have it as a Catholic Christian country are going to church on a regular basis. Now, I'm not meaning to cause trouble or be a smartass about that, but it's very interesting, isn't it? It might be useful. I don't know. It could be an amazing renewal revival, could it not? If people actually do the things they claim are part of the values and culture. That, on the one hand, it's so lovely that we have this. I don't do it myself. I mean, I let other people do it, but I think it's wonderful that it's part of the culture. How would that be? It's like is that a Ricky Gervais movie, Yes Man, where he decided to say yes to everything? I tell you what, if there's a film producer watching, and I hold myself up under this spotlight, I hold my own feet to the fire with this. I claim to love Portuguese values, right? How about we make a documentary or a movie where I actually go to church every Sunday and really immerse myself in the things that conceptually, abstractly, we say are Portuguese values, but might not do for ourselves. I'd be happy to make a documentary doing those, a bit like Super Size Me, Portuguese version. Yeah, how about that? I don't expect to see myself vomiting out of a window outside McDonald's, because I don't think that is part. That's what happened to. Is it Morgan Spurlock who made that movie? But how about Portuguese Super Size Me, where I immerse myself in Portuguese culture and values, at an extreme level, and see where that takes me. I'm up for it. I'm open to those calls from Hollywood, although that's not how it works anymore, is it? The Hollywood producer is probably actually living in Comporta at the moment, wanting to pitch or have ideas pitched to them like that. I'm open to it. I haven't talked about it with my agent yet, but I think they'll be fine about that. It can become problematic. DM me if you want to discuss in times of. Oh, yeah, because you do have a requirement to be in the country, don't you? If you want to be a citizen, a resident and not a citizen, you need to spend a certain amount of time in the country. So, yes, there are complications. None of these options is perfect, clearly. I am rarely a victim. Wahaha. Matty pushing back there with Peter. No appointments for permanent residents. Zero nada. Okay, so you've looked into that as well, Mr. S. No appointments. I mean, this is a problem, isn't it? I hope on the supply side, we're hearing a lot about the demands of the government and the culture, but we're getting is tumbleweed when it comes to, well, okay, fair enough. You're putting the citizenship up from 5 to 10 years. Will the infrastructure be improved in which to do that? Nothing. Tumbleweed. And of course, we can talk about that tonight. We can put that to the minds of the dream team tonight. Over at Expats Portugal this evening. I'll be there from 7:30. Tonight's webinar will be with Daniel Reis. And we will be talking to the dream team for the town hall at 9 o'clock as well. This evening's is what expats need to know to stay protected. That's this evening's webinar, which I'll be delighted to host. Don't leave it to chance. Understand how Portuguese law affects your assets and loved ones. In the company of Daniel Reis, possibly Rodolfo Pelicano, as well of Reis and Pelicano. Whether you're thinking about moving to Portugal or in the process of relocating, already living here, understanding how estate planning and wills work in Portugal is something every foreign resident should take time to consider. I know some of you have got that covered. That will be coming up in Caldas de Rainha at Amelie's upcoming November 24th seminar webinar as well. There's the event if you want to come along to it tonight. Good to see you last night, Squire of the Shires. Bon dia todos. Tapa de manhã. I like it. Sort of thing you might hear down in the Algarve first thing in the morning. A friend of mine, says Mel, resident of the country for 17 years, sent back to Australia during COVID and denied entry. Hold on a minute. So they were a resident for 17. Oh, they lived somewhere for 17 years. They got sent back to Australia as their COVID present, but were denied entry because they hadn't been in the country. Is that right? So if you must be aware of that, it would appear, for most countries then. If you are a temporary resident, even a permanent resident, I think there's criteria to fulfill of actually being resident in the country in which you claim to be resident. Thank you for that, Mel. WhatsApp or Insta for communication. Citizenship puts you 100% under Portuguese law, including succession and inheritance laws, which I don't want. Yeah, and by the way, there is a reversion. Is that how it works, or is that the right word to use? But if you haven't configured your will otherwise, I think even as a resident, your inheritance is treated in the Portuguese style unless you've cross-referenced it with a Portuguese will that says refer to my country of origin. Find out more about that tonight with Daniel Reis. Citizenship also puts you 100% under Portuguese tax law, which affects government pensions. No, thank you on that, says T-Duck. The saying I get told most here, minimum daily, pouco a pouco, sums up Portugal life. Yeah, and grain by grain, that's another Portuguese saying, grain by grain, the hen's belly gets filled. We might get to those Portuguese sayings, and that's one of them in a moment. I want my UK pension if it's still available. If it's still available. No one ever said that years ago, did they? People are thinking it now. If it's still available in a couple of years. It couldn't go on forever. It was a Ponzi scheme from the beginning. And some people had better value than others, did they not? But yeah, if there's a fund and no one's paying into it, and the IMF won't lend you any more money to put into it, it can't last, can it? Remember the thumbs up. Cheers, Deagle. And yeah, that was it. Weird yesterday. A few outages. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Deagle. Amazon servers and Google went down yesterday. No, Young VNA is in Bethnal Green, not Kensington. Okay, thank you for that. Bethnal Green. Ooh, that's a scary part of London, ain't it? I would only go to South Kensington for my edification and cultural education. Bethnal Green, that's where you go for boxing, isn't it? Bon dia Gumpers, please help us wish Kat a happy birthday. 18 today, fantastic. Parabéns. Many happy returns to Kat this morning. 18 years of age today. Fantastic. What a wonderful time to be alive, Kat. Hope you have a wonderful day and many happy returns to you from me and on behalf of all Gumpers here this morning. Have a great day. Have a great life, Kat. Thunderduck, Portuguese law applies to you when you live here, and you can write a will if you want to divert. There we go. That's what I was talking about. Find out more tonight. Citizenship takes more than 5 years to get. That's true. As it turns out, that's a title I'd click on. Which one is that? I wonder. Handcuffs and the one I put up, or handcuffs and truncheons. People would have more children if they could afford it. It never stopped me, but I suppose is that never mind, Freedom? Oh, you didn't get offended, did you? That was written a long time ago, though. To be fair, that's a title I'd click on. That is the rational thought process, is it not? Can't afford to have kids, won't have them. But yes, and I suppose people are looking towards the government to make it okay for them to have children, child benefit, affordable housing, lower cost of living, in which people might fornicate and procreate. That's the fun bit, isn't it, in preserving and promoting national values? It's having the kids who you then indoctrinate with those values. That's how it works, of course. That's how culture grows and continues. But yeah, I mean, there is a problem on the supply side, as it were, and on the conditions and the context. But I guess it's also, we have to figure that out for ourselves. I tell you what, if we do wait for the government to make it okay, it's never going to happen, is it? It really isn't. And there is a problem in that, is in relying on the government to figure things out for us. Again, a bit like the pension Ponzi scheme. I think it's the same with the way government works. The system is not fit for purpose, and something new is required, a new evolution or adaptation, or certainly the government ride needs pimping, let me put it that way, to make it work properly. But certainly, please, young people, 18-year-olds, don't wait and rely on the government to make life okay for you. Get out there and make it happen with other young people, right? You are the future. We believe in you. We believe the children are our future. There's an idea for the karaoke on Saturday night. Good morning. I can make everyone cry, not just because of my singing, but the lyrics as well. After a bit of wine tasting, come along, Sulisal Bar, San Martino de Porto, this Saturday night, around 8 o'clock. Bit of wine tasting, a bit of karaoke. We're going to have some fun this Saturday night. Good morning, Carl and Gumpers. 7-degree start, but by midday, yellow rain, wind warning for Northern Ireland. So Saturday, heat in Portugal will be stunning for 12 nights. Warm weather shortens the winter. See you soon, mate. T-Duck, I have done this, and I have a Portuguese will that states the law of my country of citizenship applies here. Yes. However, if I were to become a PT citizen, Portuguese citizen, that will is still void. I remember I used to have a feature called PT Tips. Only really works if you're British. That was an early podcast idea. Bandero, thank you for your video yesterday. Love that. Hola, bon dia, Malta. Under 30 minutes in, and loads of comments. Must be a record. It is. It's love. I love it. Absolutely love it. Coach Turner, no thanks. I'd rather have more dogs than kids. Who would want more of mini-me's? Oh, Jackie. You become a fantastic auntie and grandma, though. It's a team. It takes a village to raise a child, and we need a naughty auntie like yourself to help educate the kids as well. Let's start learning Spanish on. Stop it. Stop that immediately. He's such a troublemaker, that man, isn't he, Mr. S? Stop it. I can see what you're doing there. Buenos dias. And look, T-Duck, don't encourage him, for heaven's sakes. What's the number I will call in? Okay. It's the normal number, 913-590-303. Are you going to call in from the train to talk about the good old days of travel on public transport? Do it, Chris. Give me a buzz. And I'll answer it, and we'll bring you. We haven't done this for a while. Presumably, it will work. And I'll watch out for your call. So yeah, there's loads of comments, and it's a phone in suddenly on the Good Morning Portugal show. Okay, yeah. There's that link for Alessandro Palombo. Good coverage there. It can be handy to have more than one passport. Listen to you, James Bond. They're all hidden under the floorboards, aren't they? Wads of cash, couple of passports, and the pistol there. Gina, good morning to you. I'm getting my residency in France. That's it. She has gone. She's an Antifa, and she's off to France. You'll fit in well on the rioting front lines of Gay Paris. There, Gina. Antifa Gina. So, Carl, we could be making fertilizer in the ground, and a government minister's grandchild sings off your citizenship. There's a snail, then a Portuguese bureaucracy. Deagle, what have you been smoking this morning? Happy Carl. Hello, Carl. Happy day. Happy day to you as well, Gina. Good morning to you. No amount of passports will save me if things are discovered. What? It's a cry for help from Matty. He's fessing up live on air. I've got my A2 certificate this week. What a joke. Is only proof of attendance of the classes, nothing more. Yeah, and honestly, if we're talking about reform, let's have a Portuguese language process that actually has people speaking the language. That's not working. This proof of attendance thing is just, it's the ultimate in bureaucracy, isn't it? That you've attended and that you haven't actually got. I mean, thank God they don't do that with driving. De braucht keinen Pass. I'm afraid I can only speak German in that sort of mass rally kind of way. Forgive me. Smash the like button and receive a free. Yes, I'll do it for a like. Smile, that is. And not dress up like a policeman. That will cost you. That will be the VIP level. Should I add that this morning? We'll dress up as a policeman for the higher levels of support over at the Portugal Club, where we now have a Portuguese policeman, everybody. So behave yourselves. Here we go. The Portugal Club. These are the tiers of support. And would you upgrade from $9 a month to $49 if I would dress up as a policeman for you, Jackie? There you go. You can do that at the Portugal Club. Free to join, by the way. I'm sure you know that, all you regulars do, but anyone who's tuning in, because we're getting bigger numbers. Big numbers. We're getting bigger numbers. You can support us at $9 and get access to all including the real Portuguese language course as designed by our wonderful friends Maria and Vitor. You'll actually speak some Portuguese. That's included in your $9 level. All the courses are included as well at VIP level, and I will dress up as a policeman for you as well. Hopefully I'll only have to do that once and take a picture or make a video that is issued to people. And there's another level, $99, where I'll promise not to do that as well. But right, okay. We're running out of time here. And I think you're right, Andero. This is probably a record level of comments this morning. T-Duck, not easy to see the smile behind the fluff. Better. I'm happy with residency. This is what we're not hearing, isn't it? We're hearing a lot of noise about the citizenship changes, and understandably so. I'm not knocking it. It's a disappointment to many people. It is what it is, and it's a bitter pill to swallow for many. We're not hearing much about the alternatives. Much discussion about that. Gemini here, happy with Residence Day. Sorry, but my British passport stays with me. Don't want Portuguese citizenship. I have a lot of privileges, just not citizenship. True, that's a nice way of looking at it there. If they want, I can make things disappear, never to be seen or found again. That's quite the service. Asurda, yes, thank you for bringing some sanity back into the comments here. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. It is a lot easier traveling in and out of Europe and within it, and we get all the rights we lost during Brexit, Peter. Yeah, if you have the passport, you'll move more freely in and out of the other European states. That's true, of course. TV is always on in every bar and restaurant, and unbelievably, there are football matches at any time of the night or day. Yeah, the Portuguese and TV. Will I get to that? Will I have time? Will you keep me talking so I can't get to the planned content? Honestly, at around 7:30 this morning, I was thinking in the times of non-scheduled guests, and we've had a lot of them this week. I mean, another tomorrow for Feel Good Friday. what am I going to talk about? I want us in the lungy, sad times of autumn to look for the good and praise it, and no one's doing that this morning. I'm guessing you're just happy and contented. Okay, I'll take that. But 9135903003 is the number to call if you want to give me a buzz. Should I be calling you perhaps here? Oh, missed call. That's not good. Let's see if he's still on the train. All right. Sorry, Chris. I missed that call. Let's go there now.
Yes.
Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem? Are you on the 7:30 from Woking to Waterloo?
Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not. Where are you, Chris?
I'm now in the office.
Oh, you're in the office. Did I miss my moment?
You did miss your moment, but literally, I was thinking about this the other day, or actually this morning, sorry. Do you remember in the old days when you had the slam shut doors?
Yes.
And literally, if you were just getting onto the platform as the train was pulling out, you could run and get on the train, but you can't do that anymore.
They've taken all the fun away. They have taken all the fun away, haven't they? I do remember that. I was talking to Mrs. M about that the other day. You could run along, couldn't you? Grab the brass handle, open the door and jump on, whilst other people on the platform were thinking, oh my God, this could end very badly.
So Brief Encounter wouldn't work anymore. You know that film, Brief Encounter?
I love that movie. I can see. Why don't we make a remake of that with you and me saying, do you love me, darling? Do you really? Yes. Having a boiled egg in the buffet before we say goodbye.
So literally, last night, I mean, as I said, do you remember I said last week, I keep my positivity for Good Morning Portugal, and all my negativity goes on Facebook.
How's that going, Chris? How is that going?
Oh my God, Carl, last night between Blackfriars and London Bridge, there was this disgusting, I had to call it a cockafart. I don't know what it was.
That's a kind of dog, isn't it? I thought that was a breed of dog.
It was awful. And I said, I don't know what these people are wearing, what they're smelling of, but it was like my nose had been connected to the sewage pipe.
Have you thought of seeing a doctor? Chris, if I may intervene there for a moment. You know how some people have synesthesia where the thought of a colour gives them a smell? It might be that you've rewired your brain in a way, and you're actually these are like imaginary. They're not imaginary friends. They're imaginary smells that are just triggered by you looking at people on the train.
No, it's not. It's the season.
For real. Okay, it's the season.
It's the season. It's that song. Who sang it? Let Your Love Flow.
Oh yeah, the Bellamy Brothers.
Yes. There you go. Yes. So you need to change that because let your smell flow. Well,
clearly they are.
Right. Yeah, honestly, so that's my pain 5 days a week. Right? And that's why I love Portugal so much. You don't smell any of that sort of stuff when you're in the Algarve. You're out to sea. You know, you got the beautiful waves. The guys, come follow me, guys. Join me. You got the beautiful waves lapping against your ankles as you walk on the beach. You've got the beautiful sun going down over the ocean.
Oh, stop
you're sipping a coffee.
Oh,
you're feeling this. You're feeling the sun touching your skin, just tantalizing.
In my policeman's uniform.
Exactly. You, sir, come with me. But also, you know, literally, I was meant to be on a plane this morning. I was meant to be literally hurtling towards Faro, but really? Life got in the way. So I've had to postpone my trip by 4 weeks. So, but that's not a bad thing because in 4 weeks' time, hopefully the waves will be lovely and big in Nazaré. And
hold that thought, mate. Hold that thought.
A road trip.
Yeah.
Well,
we do. We feel we sympathise. You have our heartfelt sympathy and condolences for your morning commute. Many people glad to have put that behind them. You're still doing that. You're taking that for the team at the moment, and hopefully you'll be back in Portugal soon, enjoying that beautiful picture that you conjured up for us with words there, Chris. So all the best. How's the office? How's the office? How's everyone in the office?
The office is fantastic. However, the contrast is my office is right beside the Thames. So if you can imagine, when you literally, like green pill, red pill, or blue pill, or red pill, etc.
Yes.
So you have lovely clear seas in the Algarve, or you have dirty brown Thames. Lovely blue seas in the Algarve.
Mate. Somebody look. Look, you know the best way to cheer yourself up, and it won't last long, I'm afraid to say, because of probably of the cost of it. But if you go out and get yourself a pastel de nata and a coffee, you can pretend you're in Portugal. Apart from the price, because that's going to cost you what, 27 quid in London at the moment.
Well, luckily, the coffees, we have a barista in the office, so
you
all
do,
our
don't you?
coffees are
Check
free.
you out. You see, things have changed, but some things have changed for the better. No longer do you waste a bit of time in the kitchen of the office making horrible instant coffee. You've got a barista. Is that to keep you at work at your table, and he comes and serves it for you?
Well, you've got to go into the kitchen and they make it for you all day long.
No way.
Yeah, we're actually really, really lucky. When one thing I would say, if you're working for a fantastic company and they really look after you, I mean, they really look after you. And this is the thing. When I went to a job interview 8 years ago, and I smashed it out the ballpark, and they offered me the job.
Yeah.
And then they said it was in St. Helens. Have you been to St. Helens before? No, I haven't. I said, oh, it's okay. Well, we've got an office in London and we've got an office in St. Helens, and you only need to be in the office 1 day a month. On my first day, I thought, what have I let myself in for? Yeah. So people, if you're going for a job, make sure you look at the website to look at the actual interior of the office that you're going to be working in. Because the minute I walked through that door, I thought, I cannot wait to get out of here. But this organization I'm working for now, they're fantastic.
Yeah, on the banks of the Thames with your own personal barista. Can't be bad, mate. But actually, we can't have you coming on here talking about jobs. None of us want that. I think a lot of people. What are you talking about?
Hey, I remember when you said to me that the average person in Portugal has about 5 homes or is sharing 5 homes.
Yeah,
I remember sitting in San Martino de Porto and you said that to me.
That's the way to do it.
And I was going to say, the average YouTube magazine run by Carl Munson has about 5 jobs as well.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But I'm glad I'm spared your commute. Mine is just a short walk to the garage. But
and on my final note, is this: my Facebook page this morning was a negative, positive post. I said, I'm no longer going to listen to Nick on LBC in the mornings because I do not want to poison my mind.
Well, yeah, I understand that. And I've tuned into LBC a couple of mornings this week and recently. And it gets to you, doesn't it? We don't need that at this time of year. It's difficult enough with the seasons changing and the seasonal affective disorder without further harming yourself with LBC. Stay with us, Chris. We love hearing from you. So call in again. This has worked brilliantly. Thanks, mate.
Good morning, Gumpers. Take care.
Have a great day at the office. Have a cappuccino for us. Fantastic. There he goes. Wonderful. You too can call in, but not today. We've run out of time today. I didn't get to all the things I wanted to talk about, but I'm not complaining because that's been lovely. Totally agree, Carl. Almost no Caucasian immigrant I know follows any Portuguese values or cultural activities or spends much time with the Portuguese. I need to screenshot that. That's hilarious, isn't it? I love going to Fatima. Something just draws me to Fatima. I go there often, take potluck, and book in a hotel when I arrived. Nice one, Gemini. So yes, that maybe that film does need to be made. That's Portuguese Supersize Me. Yes, Pete, not entirely happy about the TV coverage. When I lived in Switzerland many years ago, going to church on a Sunday involved arriving at our favourite pub and drinking copious amounts of beer. Well, yeah. I mean, what did you think? If I'm going to be supersizing me Portuguese style, that better be part of it. Let her eat bacalhau is perhaps the new phrase. If you are on holidays when an emergency hits, you may find yourself back in your passport country and not country of residency. That's also interesting, isn't it? That'd be a shock for some people, wouldn't it? We haven't been there for 25 years. We've been to Fatima one time and really love being there. It's a very special place, says T-Duck. The Underground Museum is quite impressive. Going back is on our short list there. How many? Hundreds of comments. Simply live. I'm planning on joining local craft groups to meet more Portuguese people and make friends. Noted there, right, Mel? As far as I know, COVID is already a shortcut. And CV, yes, that was COVID. CV was COVID, not to your curriculum vitae. Although you could say CVs have caused as much trouble over their lifespan as COVID did to humanity. Sorry, they were denied entry to their residency country. They had to go back to their birth country, Australia. Oh, okay. Coach Turner, when we were in Santarém earlier this year, the locals would come into the hotel bar every evening to watch the football. It seemed a bit random for a four-star hotel. We've had that. We've had a disco in one of the bars here. And whilst people have been doing karaoke and dancing, and there's been an old guy sat in front of the telly, which has stayed on during the whole event. I've got no problem with it. So I thought it was hilarious. I think I've got a photo of it somewhere as well. Also cheaper up there in Fatima. Are we talking about heaven or are we talking about Fatima? Everywhere is cheaper than Lisbon. True. True. And Portugal will need to combine two things when next in CB. Visit the Action Store and the Tesla Superchargers, lol, from Matty. Oh, in Castelo Branco there. Is the charging not good? Is that a problem? We have spent very little time in the Algarve. I see the appeal for some people, but there is nothing there for me. What? A round of golf? Maybe not. Bacon and egg? No, maybe not. Fish and chips? No. Guinness? No. Medical infertility of both men and women is even a bigger issue. Yes, dramatically increasing over the past decades. Come on. What is it we need to do to get Portuguese young people having kids? I wonder. Fuseta is a nice small village. No big hotels, very backward. I think they mean that in a good way. They still walk on the edge of the road, stop cars. It's nice, says Gemini there. Yeah, I know you. I know you don't mean that badly. Fuseta is lovely. And did you say yellow rain warning? Yes, there is a yellow rain warning in Belfast. We've had our yellow rain here. I think it's like yellow snow, but runnier, I suppose you might say. Yes, Fuseta is the fisherman's village down there in the Algarve. Is the Portuguese? I hope the Portuguese police officer hasn't chosen this as his first show to watch, with me threatening to impersonate a police officer. He is Daniel Gonçalves. He has joined us yesterday. John Octagon did as well. Foreigner in Portugal, father and husband. Daniel Gonçalves, Portuguese police officer, athlete and entrepreneur. Faith, strength, discipline, and a mission to bring Christ to the world is also part of his biog there. Susan joined us. Susan Benson, Abdul Alim, Jane Adlington, Raji Kalyan. New members over there at the Portugal Club. Omar Cosme joined as well. I'm any moment I'm thinking I'm going to be reading out one of Pete's special names that the kids used to give him in class, like Michael Hunt or something like that. You are missing the joy of opening the door as the train comes in and watching commuters fly all over the place like little skittles. Not to mention all the flies that come out, as well as the aroma that Chris speaks of. I'm old enough to remember bowler hats on the tube and the smoking carriages. And you don't mean that like a young person. Those carriages were smoking, man. No, people were literally smoking in the carriages or in the bogs at school. Behind the fives courts for me, actually. I went to a very good school. In Turner, that was my first money spinner selling ciggies in the school toilet block. Jackie. I used to buy mine actually from a shop, from the old ladies at the tobacconist. They would sell us school children in school uniform. Can I have a single, please, love? Want to try? I'll be all grown up. Single, please. Yes, 5p they used to be. What would a single be now? That's about £1 a go, isn't it? The Thames is very nice, says Gemini. Final few comments. Talking of my school, that overlooked the Thames by Blackfriars Bridge. Yes, happy days. Throwing one's cap into the river at the end of term, or your straw boater, I dare say, in your summer outfit with your AirTech shirt and shorts there. And sandals and socks, no doubt. We got to go, folks. And you're keeping the comments coming. No, it's not like a golden shower, Matty. And Adrian White, excellent information from the lawyer who works for IMA free of charge. What? Put us on to that, if you will, Adrian. I must have missed that earlier on. Good to see you this morning, Adrian. Thank you, everybody, for your fabulous comments. I'll put the link to the news item about the Portuguese liking TV and using it as a trustworthy news source. That's going into the chat now. Maybe see you this evening for Your Will in Portugal, what expats need to know to stay protected. There's that as in Your Will, Last Will and Testament, rather than Your Will Be Done, although we can talk about both this evening. And yeah, go over to X and look up a chap called Alessandro Palombo if you want some good coverage about what's happening with the citizenship. But the main thing to say is it still hasn't come under the fun show today. Absolutely. I had no idea what would happen today, and that's the beauty of it, is it not? Fantastic. Thanks for all your chat. Really appreciate it. We didn't get pictures and videos. I wasn't able to show you the wine labels, but I think we did ourselves proud with a nice, upbeat, positive, and fun conversation. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? And pop over to X for Alessandro Palombo's coverage. And as I say, the president still hasn't put his final rubber stamp. He might still send it to the Constitutional Court, which on the one hand will be like, oh my God, will this ever end? Does that country know what it's doing with this stuff? Or it might bring the news that people want. Okay. That is the beauty of the show, says T-Duck. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what's going to happen. And yes, long may that be the case. Take care. Bye for now. Have a great day.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need